Pyayantu mamangani Vak pranaschakshu shrutramathu balamendriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahmopanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam ma brahma nirakarut Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam mestu Tadatmani nirate ya upanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, mind, the sensory and motor organs, and the life force become strong and efficient. All is verily the one without second, absolute, blissful existence itself. May I never deny this truth of oneness of existence. May this truth never reject me either. May all the virtues needed to experience this truth in life and which have been described by the Upanishads be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel our innate divinity by meditating on this self in our heart in the form of a very bright spark of light. Let us concentrate on that. I see its light filling my whole being, body and the mind. And has filled the whole universe too. It is all most sublime, beautiful, luminous, conscious, blissful existence. I am this. There is no I and you, no subject, object, no time, space or causation. I am beyond death. Am beyond likes and dislikes, for there is none else, nothing else. This is my true nature, my true self. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let's begin with the 41st class of this series that we started discussing from January 2020. So, it is a year plus almost a month, and this is the 41st class. Let us begin the discussion with our opening prayers. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditarata Schaर्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् Tene brahmhridaya adikavaye Muhyanti yat surayah Tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo Yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam Sat Satyam Param Dhimahi. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsist, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. So, we saw that Brahma was commanded by his father, Lord himself, to proceed with the creation, and Brahma, in spite of having this tremendous wisdom and being actually having come from the God himself, from the navel of God, he appeared. Yet he did not find it very easy to start the creation. We saw last time that he had several different false starts, and then therefore he had to give again and again the starts. So, and then every time he had to consult God, that things are not going as per plans, what next shall I do? This is what happens when we are doing something for the first time. We read about it, we think that we know everything, but then as we start doing, some difficulties crop up, and then again we have to, as they say, go back to basics. And what is basics? Well, pray to God. That is the basic. It is the God who is doing it, everything, making Brahma as the instrument. So, we saw that a lot of efforts had been put, many sages had been created by Brahma, and yet there was no multiplication happening, the creation was not expanding. And so he again prayed to God, thought of God, what is this? What wrong am I doing? And like a revelation, he saw himself getting split into two. We saw this last time, this split into two. Brahma is there, and then God split into two, man and woman, and still he is there. Brahma is there, not that Brahma got split means Brahma vanished. Brahma there, it is not like an apple got split into two, means now there is no full apple, and this part and that part. Not like that. Brahma is there and yet got split into two, as it were. So, one of them was man, other was woman. And so now the creation proceeded automatically. So to say that now it is put on this auto mode. Okay, now you can do all the work yourself. And so that is how the whole earth was going to get populated. And then it is, having done this, now still this he created from him, his male form was called Swayambhuva Manu, and then the female was called Satorupa. So from the two, there was the progeny of 5. And then from that, all other things gradually, in a short time, got created. Because it is like virus, it grows automatically. It is a function. It is the exponential growth, as they say. It is an exponential function. Goes on growing very fast. Without it is already a very, very big number in trillions and all that. I had told you the story of a chess player, that he asked from the king, who was very pleased with him, that just give me 1 grain of rice. I just eat what I don't need any luxury, just for food that human beings need. So he said, just give me 1 grain of rice on first of the squares, and there are 64 squares. So next square you give 2, the next afterwards 4, then 8, like that. The king laughed and said, what are you talking? It will be just half a pound of rice max, isn't it? Ask something more. He said, no, that's enough if you can give that. And then when you actually measure it on the whole earth, that much rice cannot be produced in thousands of years. That is how this function is, So it goes on multiplying very, very fast. Even some of my engineering friends, they are supposed to know better, but they also did not believe that it can be so much. Said, come on, calculate. Yes, it is such a huge number. And that is this exponential growth. So that is how the things grow in this world. And so now this Brahma started it, but the question came to, the story is being told, that Shuka is narrating to King Parikshit. Bhagavatam is like that it is what we are reading is Bhagavata being told by sage Shuka to King Parikshit. And then in that, stories within the stories are coming. So here the narration is going on between this sage, this Vidura and Maitreya. So Shuka started telling about it, that and here we begin with the chapter 13. Shuka said, O king, Vidura, after hearing Maitreya's description of the sportive actions of the Lord, was eager to hear more, and so questioned the sage. Vidura said, Vidura basically asked that how did they proceed? This man and woman, what prompted them? How did they proceed? And what was, and again this story shows that both of them prayed to Brahma, from whom they had come, and asked what should be done. And it is very interesting. So it is, so they asked Brahma that you have produced us that Manu and Satorupa. So both of them asked Brahma, so what are we supposed to do? And Brahma told that, I am much pleased with you. May you be happy. You have, with a true heart, offered your services to me, saying, what service can I do? Now remember, they are just coming out of Brahma, two parts of Brahma. That is the first, now there is only one. This is how, some bacteria, they divide themselves into two. That is how the creation comes there. So, Brahma is divided into two. One is this, Manu, other is Satorupa. So, what should we do? And he said that that you have to fulfill, beget in Satorupa children equal to you in all respects, protect the earth according to the sacred law, and worship the Lord by the performance of yajnas. O king, this is the best service you can do to me. That is, Brahma said to them, because this is what Lord had told me, and so I will be looking forward to your help for completing the command of Lord, fulfilling the command of Lord. But there was a difficulty. And so Manu said, oh, Brahma agreed, but tell us where to put this creation. It is, I shall certainly fulfill your command. Allot to me and my following the stations we are to occupy. You need place, isn't it, to put all that, the children coming, where to make them live. You need a place. And the reason for saying was that earth, this whole earth at that time was kind of dissolved in the cosmic waters. It had gone to the bottom of the ocean, as it were, pulled there and kept by a very powerful demon called Hiranyaksa. I will come to the story of Hiranyaksa, but this is what they asked, that how, unless that earth is taken out from there, we have no place to put our children on. So please see what can be done about it. Now Brahma also got puzzled, now what to do. But again, the only one solution that he knew, and that is the only solution. Pray to God, thought of God, what is to be done? He said, then Brahma, seeing the earth submerged, thought as follows for long about the ways and means for lifting her up. While the work of creation is going on, strangely enough, the earth has gone down to the level of Rasatala. That is, a term means the bottommost regions of existence. So that is called Rasatala. So it has gone down there under the cosmic waters. So what am I with the responsibility of creation to do in this connection? May He, of whom I was myself born, solve the problem for me. Out of the nostril of Brahma, who was thus thinking, emerged a mini boar of the size of thumb. So, this is they that coming up of Varaha, a boar. Varaha, the Sanskrit word for a boar, that God took the form according to, these legends. He is the third incarnation of God. The first was the fish incarnation. Then second was a turtle. So, some rightly think that it is description of the species on earth, how they evolved. So, first there were only aquatic species, then came the semi-aquatic like turtles. They can be in water as well as outside. So, and then now the one who roams on the land, that boar came up. Now, what happened? While Brahma was looking at it, wonder of wonders, the tiny creature rose in the sky up to the size of a huge elephant. And that is how this huge elephant came up there. This big, huge boar. It soon became like a enormous mountain with big tusks. And now that what happened? And Brahma started thinking, who could be this divine being that stands before us in the guise of a boar? It is a joke that it came out of my nostrils. Imagine, so tiny and became big. It is so huge. But it came right from us. Like in the dream, things come out of us. And then it fills the whole universe. In fact, the whole universe in the dream comes out from us. So, similarly, you can think about it that this whole universe, how it can come, this boar also came like that. And then there are many allegoric meanings of it, that in the beginning it was very tiny, but then afterwards it becomes big. So the response that we get from God in the beginning could be very tiny, almost difficult to perceive. But when we dwell on it, that becomes bigger and bigger. We see that is the divine in front of us, behind us, everywhere. It occupies the whole existence, as it were. It is so huge. So, it is... so, he thought, could it be Lord himself who is the form of all the sacrifices? Must be he. While Brahma and his offspring were thus cogitating, the boar, who was none but the Lord manifested in that form, grew into the proportion of a huge mountain and broke out into a wild roar. The all-powerful Lord thus gladdened the hearts of Brahma and his offspring by this huge roar, which reverberated through the quarters. Hearing the grunting roars of the divine appearing as a boar, the rishis, that is the sages, abiding in these realms called the realms of jnana, that is knowledge, realm of knowledge, realm of austerities, and realm of truth, satya. They were delighted and responded with chants from the sacred Vedas. He whose form is described and glorified in the Vedas was pleased to hear the chants of the sages resounding his attributes, and in appreciation roared again. So that is how he was there. And to fast forward the story, though this he went just deep in the ocean and then pulled out this earth on its tusks, Lord, in the form of this boar, redeemed the earth that was down in the bottom, is brought up. Here is a picture in a cave in India, in Udaipur. There is this cave, Udaipur. This Udaipur is different from the famous Rajasthan Udaipur. This is in a cave that is about 5th century, and there you can see the Varaha, the big boar, and holding on to its tusks is a woman's shape, which is earth. So this picture I took from Encyclopedia Britannica. So now thus, while the boar was lifting the earth, that big demon Hiranyaksa, who had put the earth there, because if the earth remains in the waters like this, immersed, then he will be able to rule the whole universe. Nobody will be able to compete with him. Especially those celestial good beings, the angels, they get their survival and their strength from the sacrifices that are performed on earth. Now, if earth is submerged in water, no sacrifices will be done, no such rituals are possible. So, all these angels are going to be deprived. So, my rule will remain intact. Nobody can defeat me, nobody can kill me. And thus, he saw that the earth is being lifted up, and so he attacked this boar to snatch back the earth. But the boar killed, this huge boar killed this demon, his name Hiranyaksa. So, and thus the earth was brought up. Now there is this subsidiary story of Hiranyaksa. These are the two brothers. These two brothers originally were the doorkeepers at Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu's abode is Vaikuntha. So, at that doors of Vaikuntha, these two gatekeepers were there. They were as such very devoted, and therefore they were given this duty to guard all this Vaikuntha region. Now, the four sages who were again born of Brahma, so they wanted to get there and salute the Lord, but these gatekeepers were not allowing them to get in, and also because they didn't recognize them and said, "Hey, get out." They didn't behave properly. So these four therefore cursed them that, "Hey, you are not worthy of being the doorkeepers here. Go down in this the worlds of mortals. Get out, go there. And they said, oh, please, we made a mistake. We didn't actually know who you were, so we tried to stop you. We are very sorry. But tell us some way to redeem. You have cursed us, but there should be a way to redeem. Every curse would have some redemption. After some fulfilling something, like somebody is put into jail, that sentence, 5 years. Okay, so 5 years the fellow will come out if that if the inmate shows very good behavior, could be released in 2 years also. So these two, Jaya and Vijaya, these two doorkeepers asked, well, how long? And then these sages told, well, you have two choices, you make a choice. If you do the life of loving devotion to Lord, you will be able to redeem yourself in 7 births. Practice devotion to Lord, and then after 7 births like that, you will be able to redeem yourself. There is a shortcut that in 3 lives you will be able to redeem yourself if you became enemies of God and fight with God, get killed by God. Would you? And they thought that let us get the job done quickly. So they decided that we will become enemies of God so that in 3 births the job will all be done. And that is how a spiritual aspirant thinks, that they being away from God is so painful. So even if it becomes strenuous, let me try to do it quickly instead of doing it slowly and leisurely, comfortably. And that is not what the devotees really want. Let it be over. Even if it means more pain, that's fine. It is the pain of being separated from God is as it is big. So, if this is going to be done in 3 lifetimes, we will take it up. So, they were given 3 lifetimes of this enmity with Lord. And this first birth of them was in the form of this Hiranyaksa, and other brother was Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu and was the younger one, Hiranyaksa was the elder one. Both of them were born of Kashyapa, again a Manu or equivalent of some previous cycle. So he had 2 wives, Aditi and Diti. Through Aditi he got the progeny of very good angelic people. But this other wife, Diti, was very passionate, overwhelmed with sexual desires, and so at an inauspicious time she compelled Kashyapa to have an intercourse. And Kashyapa tried to reason, no, this is not the right time. This is the time when we should meditate, think of God. This is not the right time. But then she didn't listen. And then therefore a demonic progeny came out, these two brothers. First was the Hiranyaksa, and later came the Hiranyakashipu. So, both were tremendously powerful. They both also performed lot of austerities and got boons from Brahma and all that, that they would never get defeated, and so became tremendously powerful. This Hiranyaksha was the elder one. And so he captured the whole earth and then put it down in this nether world under the cosmic waters, and so was ruling the whole universe from there. So now, therefore, when he saw that this boar is taking that earth out, got very much angered and tried to stop that, attacked this boar, the Lord in the form of boar. But that was how he was going to be killed. So Lord cut his head and decimated him. So thus brought the earth out to get populated by now the progeny of Swayambhuva Manu and Satorupa. Then what happened to the other brother? He became very enraged when his elder brother was killed like this, and he vowed to be just, I will be the enemy to God like my brother, but even more fierce. I will not let even the name of God be taken in my kingdom. He again had captured all the worlds, and so no name of God should be taken. But the problem is God is in everyone. So actually that was the problem with this Hiranyaksha. He wanted to kill God, but he could not find God anywhere. Where is God? We all ask this question, where is God? I need to see God, and then I will kill him. Where is he? Now the God is right inside him, how can he see it? So therefore he could not see God. So, and when he saw, he could not recognize that as God. He thought of it only as a big boar. So, Lord is in everything. But this, his younger brother Hiranyakashipu also could not see this. He said, God is banished. You cannot banish that which is everywhere. You cannot throw out something that is everywhere. If you say have trash, you can take out and throw somewhere. But that which is everywhere you cannot throw out. Where are you going to throw this space? Come on, throw all this space. Well, that is something that is everywhere. Where to find space to throw space? So, God is even more pervasive than space. So, therefore, this Hiranyakashipu also waged a war. Now God had his ways of destroying him. So there was, his son became a big devotee, Prahlada. So Prahlada, while everybody in the kingdom was told, no name of God, his own son was born and he was always chanting the name of God. And he tried to kill him but could not kill. So, because of this his son, his name was Prahlada. He is therefore considered the greatest of the devotees. Prahlada, always constantly thinking of God alone. So, when he could not get killed, Prahlada was cornered by his father. Well, I could not kill you, but I will kill your God. Where is your God? Tell me. I am going to kill him straight away. Show me where he is. And Prahlada said, well, he is everywhere. Everywhere? Is he in this pillar? Well, everywhere means he is in the pillar also. And so Hiranyakashipu hit that pillar with his mace and came out. That next incarnation of Lord Vishnu, half lion, half man, and he killed. That story will come later in Bhagavatam, we will see it in detail later. But that is how these two brothers were killed. So one of their birth is done. In the next birth, that was in the next yuga or next time cycle, that it is not really because in that terminology, one time cycle has all these 4 yugas. You can think of it as one chapter of time. In the next, that is called Treta. So Rama was incarnated there, and so the two brothers, two demon brothers, they incarnated as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. They were slain by Rama there. So, and later in the what is called Dwapara Yuga, the age of Krishna, the two brothers again were born as Shishupala and Dantavakra. So, they were also killed by God in this manner. So, as Krishna killed them. So, thus you see that these Jaya Vijaya again got liberated after 3 lifetimes. It is because this is the purpose of life, to be united with God. It is so they got it in 3 births. This is called a form of devotion. That it is any way you think of God, whatever way you can think of God, that is meditation on God. Normally, God, my beloved, my father, my mother, or my child, and so many different ways one can think of loving the God. My very dear friend, God can be loved in all these ways. But then there is other way of thinking about God, my enemy. God, my enemy. And one thinks of one's enemy more often than thinking of one's friends. If you have been wronged by somebody, that fellow did this to me. Although my neighbor, still I won't spare him. Constantly, even if you sit in meditation, that thought will come. How to finish my this inimical neighbor, or whosoever, my brother. Enemy, that's it. Enemy means that supersedes all other relations. And so you constantly meditate on that. So, instead of having somebody else as enemy, have God as my enemy. Not easy to practice. because we ask of boons from God, isn't it? You don't ask boons from your enemies. You can't think of. You can't pray to your enemy. So all those practices of devotion that we are used to do, they cannot be done if we have this idea of meditating on God as enemy. Although it draws lot of attention, and maybe Richard can think, that sounds better. I otherwise find it very difficult to meditate, but this seems to be more feasible. Let me think of God as my enemy, that fellow, this, okay. So it is, let me think of God like my enemy. And the problem is that is not easy. You can't pray to that God. You can't bow down to that God. Always you have to be inimical to that. Let me kill that fellow. So it is, therefore, although it is possible, psychologically almost impossible for ordinary human beings to think of God in this way, inimical. But the principle holds that whatever emotions that you get, when they are directed to God, then they lead you towards God. It is a difficult path, almost impossible for ordinary beings to keep on thinking of God as enemy. Yet it is shown possible, even that is possible. So think of this as Sri Ramakrishna used to say, in whatever way you eat candy, you put it in mouth straight or from side, or you break it into pieces, it is going to taste sweet. So the result of getting connected with God in any way, whatever way you want to, it will bear the same result. It is because God is our true nature, involved in everything. And therefore, even though you want to kill God, you can't kill God. You get absorbed in God in that process. So this is how this idea of being inimical to God comes up. That practice the connection with God. So anyway, the earth was brought up, and thus while the Lord stood there in his glory, lifting up the earth on his tusk from Rasatala, he was confronted by Hiranyaksa of irresistible power, armed with a mace in hand, fierce like his own Sudarshana that they discuss. The Lord slaughtered the Asura effortlessly, and then he brought up the earth. Thus, with the hands held in salutations, Brahma and the sages began to chant hymns to Vedic, similar to Vedic mantras in praise of him, as he now appeared before them with the gait of an elephant and the earth held up on his white tusks against the background of the huge blue background of his huge blue body. So they said hymns to this God, that God, you came to our rescue, you solved the problem. This is the sum and substance of this whole study of Bhagavatam, that everything is to be thought of as permeated by God, every thought is to be offered to God. So it is, this prayer is chanted by many, very well known prayer. I will read only a couple of these passages. Salutations to thee, who are the manifest as all mantras, all the celestials, and all the ingredients of worship, nay, as the entire system of sacrifice and forms of worship. Salutations to thee, who are that state of enlightened consciousness attained through renunciation, devotion, concentration, etc., and the universal teacher who confers that enlightenment. So they are seeing, you can, imagine this, how wonder it is. They are seeing the boar, and yet God appearing as boar. And God can take any form, but it is so difficult to conceive of God as a big boar. So, and still they could see that, having performed this task that they were desirous of, so they were chanting and then praying, "O support of the world, the earth resting on the ends of thy tusks shines like a lotus lifted with its cluster of leaves on the tusk of a mighty elephant emerging from waters of a lake." So it is. So this chapter then is concluded by Maitreya. Praised in this way by those sages versed in the Vedas, the Lord fixed the earth at a place scooped out for her by the pressure of his hooves. And that is how the earth also needed to be placed in the right spot. So it is he, the protector of the worlds and the destroyer of all obstacles, disappeared from the vision of Brahma and the others. The Lord bestows His grace quickly on those that devoutly hear or narrate the holy account of this incarnation of Sri Hari, the possessor of unheard of powers and the reliever of sorrows of creatures. What is not attainable if He, the Master of all gifts and boons, is pleased with one? But who cares for boons, these insignificant attainments, to those who worship with intense and motiveless devotion? He reveals Himself of His own accord. There is no blessing higher than that, except a beast of a man who, having discrimination and true sense of life's values, would desist from consuming the nectar of the Lord's doings, selected from the ancient tradition, if he had but once drunk a little of it with the cup of his ears and come to know of its delectedness. So that is how this whole idea is, that listen to the name of God, and that is the way you get to the ultimate goal of life. Praise that God, think of that God all the time. It is, who cares for the fulfillment of this and that desires, if you get the Lord of all bliss right in you. You don't need then anything. Everything is supplied to you in that God. You don't need to pray anything. They are miserly people who pray to God that, okay, give me a lot of money, keep me healthy, may this coronavirus go away, and all those prayers. They are petty-minded, it is, they don't bring any desire to my mind. That is how Holy Mother Sarada Devi, she said that is the only thing that one should really ask of God. They were discussing in the presence of Holy Mother, what should we ask of God? And then some said, oh, we should pray for wisdom, knowledge, devotion. Holy Mother said, to my mind, that say that I don't want anything, nirvasana. Make my mind free from all desires. What is to be asked of God? So, if you don't ask anything to God, God comes to you. That is how. If you ask from God, you will get that, but not God. But if you don't ask for anything, you get God Himself. So that is how this Bhagavatam is. Listening to the glories of God just for devotion to God, nothing else. And devotees find that to be so sweet like nectar. So friends, let us conclude today's class with this our regular last chant. Nigamakkalpatarurgalitam phalam shukamukhadamritadravasanयुtam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuruho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O devotees, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka, and mix with the ambrosia from his words. Any questions? Are there any questions?
Yes, there are some questions. So, first question from Om Lassi.
From?
Om Lassi.
Okay.
Pranam Swamiji. Devatas also created by Brahma. Are Devatas also created by Brahma?
Are what? Devatas. Well, yes, as such the whole creation has come out of Brahma. So the Devatas also are created by this Brahma, the primordial creator, correct?
So that question continues. Hiranyakashipu and his brother were human or something else like Rakshasas?
They were Rakshasas. They were never considered as human beings. Yeah, they were Rakshasas.
Next question from Sucheta Ghule. Was the demon Hiranyaksa already present before creation, even before Manu and Satorupa?
Yes. They were present. He was present before this Manu and Satorupa. He was made before that. This Manu and Satorupa came up. He was made before in the previous cycle. So that is how it can be understood. Otherwise, how can you see that the earth is being taken by Hiranyaksha down in the earth before this Satorupa and Manu could think of progeny? So this is how it is. Yes, they were before. Any other question here? It is the Udaipur in MP. That cave is in Udaipur in MP. It is. I took it from Encyclopedia Britannica online. Yeah. Yes, please. Ah, very difficult for them. They have to, in many scriptures it is said, the question is, can those devas, the celestial beings who are kind of good, can they achieve liberation? It is in fact easier for the demons to attain liberation than the devas, because these devas, they being good, they don't kill innocent people, they don't hurt people, but they are after enjoyment. So they want the sense enjoyments more and more, and for that they are praying to God. They are not looking for liberation. So therefore they have to be again born as human beings on earth, and then they can see that this universe is full of pleasures and pain. The more pleasure you seek, the more pain you get. That is the nature here. So you want then to get liberated. So then only you perform sadhana. So these devas are after enjoyments. That's it. It is. So therefore it is very difficult for them to think of God who is beyond all pleasures and pains. That is how devas have been described. Yeah. So let us conclude with our the closing song. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल. कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल.